Label me as a psycho. Label me as a psycho.
Got the mind of a lunatic.
Label me as a psycho. Label me as a psycho.
Got the mind of a lunatic.
Oi everyone, this is DJ Lunacy from Kniteforce Records and you are listening to GLOWKiD on his Generation X show on Planet Rave Radio. Big up to you all.
Let me just see if I've got the vacancy here. As you very well know, have you tried calling Northampton frequencies?
Frequency.
And you're here, and you're listening to Planet Rave Radio.
Frequency.
Generation X. Generation X.
Generation Up. This is Generation Up.
Boys and girls, the new generation. Call it generation of love. Boys and girls, the new generation. Call it generation of love. Tell you don't give a fuck about me and my generation.
For an ultimate showcase, taking you higher than ever. It's the Resurrection to Showtime, our weekly appointment with the ultimate sounds of hardcore and new rave. Live streaming from Athens, Greece. Your host, GLOWKiD. the last day of February. 2K17, guys, you can notice that the time flies quickly. And so does for a label like Kniteforce Records, which is the key subject of tonight's show. Yes, you're right. You can notice some familiar Kniteforce sounds playing on the background, on the main ground. Generation X of the show, the action is here. So guys, I've decided to make a special tribute tonight. A long-awaited tribute to the 25 years anniversary of Kniteforce Records. So the message is clear. Anyone who respects his hardcore substance should follow, support and adore, of course, the Kniteforce Records and Lunacy, the man himself, the hardcore king, living legend. Chatroom crew is already active. It's already pumping. So I have the honor, the pleasure to host tonight Lunacy. Yes, Christopher Howell, the one and only. On an exclusive interview and guest mix. So to all my Japanese crew out there, nemueranai. This means don't sleep, because it's 2 a.m. Japanese time. Good morning to all my US crew. my chatting crew. Out to Fisa Flock and Insane HOH, Jerry Dubs and Rero. Out to Stan Fish, Takumi and TNO. Out to Tony L Vitality and Vortex. Each and everyone listener worldwide. Kingsize featuring Vibena. So most of the showcase tonight will be up to lunacy for all Kniteforce soldiers out there. Couple of tunes for myself. So there's my radio interview with Lunacy and his guest mix in the pipeline. Keep your eyes peeled, crew. Gotta have it. Hardcore crew out there who feels the panic. Out to crew from UK, Greece, Japan, Serbia, Bolivia, Sweden, Latvia, US, Russia, Spain, Australia, Finland, Germany, Hungary, Hill, Netherlands. We are all one and all Kniteforce united today. Let's move to something very fresh. What do you think? King of the bongo.
So damn fucking fresh. That cut is fresh.
Fresh.
Yes, well, we could.
KFA 81. The very fresh KFA EP is out now. Featuring 6 remixes from Scartat, Clayfad, Ideals, the one we're listening. Scartat and DJ Jeff. Bonka Bonk. So before entering Lunacy's interview, check this one out now.
Hey, this is Demcore from the UK. Big shout out to everyone. Happy birthday, Kniteforce. Very proud to be part of an outstanding label.
Hey, here's Empyreal from Germany, and I just want to let you know that I'm very happy that Kniteforce is still existing, because if it had not existed for such a long time, maybe nobody would have released my music. So yeah, I'm very happy. And by the way, this year we have another anniversary. 5 years of Kniteforce and me, hooray! So, congratulations, Chris. I'm really looking forward to see you in person in London after being a Kniteforce fan for 24 years, I guess. So, yeah, looking forward. Bye bye.
My world is
Hi, this is TNO Project from Germany. So Kniteforce is one of the first labels I discovered when I got in contact with hardcore 4 years ago. I remember hearing Fall Down on Me on Rave Satellite and RadioShow by Marusha, and the intro with this The Wizard sample just led me to find out more about this music. Kniteforce is also the label where I got my first release ever, which is really cool. And it's so great to see Kniteforce returns to the old days by releasing new stuff. May the force be with you.
Hello, this is N2B from Russia, and I want to congratulate Kniteforce with 25th anniversary. For me, it is the dear and oldest label, every time which associated with amazing melodies and breakbeat grooves. I'm very glad for the fact that the tireless Chris restarted the label, and I am proud to be part of the Kniteforce family. From Russia, with love, Bigup.
This is Scartat from Canada, and what Kniteforce means to me, they were just always something different and awesome. No matter what genre it was, you always knew a Kniteforce or a KFA record was going to be something special.
I want to see the music.
Hey gang, this is Damon from Vitality in California. I've been into dance music for about 500 years now, but to be honest, I was a bit late to the Kniteforce story. I knew a bunch of the well-known tracks from different compilations I got in the mid to late 90s, and I also ended up with a handful of 12 inches from the Remixes series, which just came back to life last year. But it wasn't until Kniteforce again came around that I really became familiar with the label. In 2003, I was on an online record store called iTunes, which had no connection to Apple, that was run by Paul, aka Kingsize, and I heard a preview of DJ Lunacy's new album called 11 Reasons More. I remember playing the clips from that album and thinking, oh my god, this is it! This is how I had hoped dance music would progress, since everything else at the time seemed to be slowing down with safer tempos and getting backed into a corner, relegated to a specific genre. Not this. This was different. This was wild and did whatever it wanted. I was instantly amazed and couldn't wait to get the CD. That was my first real introduction to Lunacy and Kniteforce, and from that point on, I picked up all the new KFA releases as they came out. It didn't take long for Lunacy to become one of my favorite artists, and Kniteforce to be one of my go-to labels. Always fun, innovative, and full of energy. It's been a big treat to have some Vitality tracks released on KFA over the years, and to make my small contribution to the label. I'm psyched to see it's still going strong. Thanks to Lunacy and all the Kniteforce crew for so much exciting and inspiring music, and congratulations to Chris on 25 amazing years of Kniteforce.
So big ups and special thanks to Vitality, Empyreal, TNO Project, Scartat, and N2B, Demcore for this special contribution and feature to the show. These producers talking about Kniteforce. So let's move now to the part with my radio interview with Lunacy, and after that listen to his exclusive guest mix.
This is the Strictly New School blog, with exclusive interviews, track reviews, free tunes and exclusive tunes to give away, mixes and information on events. www.strictlynewschool.blogspot.com is where it's at. You know it makes sense.
Stay updated with all the latest Glow news, Generation X Radio Show, Prodigy Fanboy, and Strictly New School blog. www.glowkidmusic.blogspot.com.
Good evening, Lunacy. Hope you're doing well. I have to admit that it's a big pleasure and honor hosting this special showcase with you tonight on Planet Rave Radio.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me. It's an honour to be on the show, to be honest, and great timing, of course.
So, 2017 marks the 25th anniversary of Kniteforce Records. Many big moments, a respected brand in the scene, iconic releases and innovative style in hardcore. You're coming back in Europe, playing on 10th March in Poland, and a day after in London on a huge anniversary party with special guests from Kniteforce crew. A gig which is already sold out. Are you totally ready for it? Any message to send to the crew attending to those gigs?
I'm actually very prepared for both my parties. For the 10th of March in Poland, I've got a Superset 19 that I've made, which is a massive mashup of all the drum and bass and jungle from about 1994 till about 2015, because I'm pretty well known for jungle and drum and bass in Poland. For a while, when I was running Influential Records, my drum and bass sub-label, I played over there quite a lot for a crew called Sonic Trip, and I'm playing for them at this party, funnily enough, so it's going to be meeting with old friends, and I get to play a different style of music to what I usually would. So I wanted to make them something special. And of course, for March the 11th, the Kniteforce 25th anniversary get-together. I'm very much looking forward to that. I've been working on a set for a couple of months, trying to make something really unique. I don't want to talk too much about it because I want it to be a surprise. But quite aside from the set, I'm looking forward to the party, which will be excellent because it's being run by Kingsize and 𝐂𝐶𝐍 𝐀, and I've played for them before with Bust an Old Jam, and it's always good. And on top of that, it's all people that I know, friends from the label. It's like a massive get-together of friends, and I get to meet some people who I haven't met, who I've got to know quite well anyway. People like 𝐿owercase from Laser FM, and also Ed, DJ Jedi from Jedi Recordings, who's been helping me with the relaunch of Kniteforce Records. So it's going to be a pretty wicked time as far as I can see. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, both gigs gonna be amazing and unforgettable, of course. Lucky people, those who attend. And of course my big ups to Bust an Old Jam and Sonic Trip, and of course each and everyone, producer and DJ who's involved on both of them. I was always curious to hear about your first gig ever, and I think it's a good timing. Can you share with us that one?
My first gig ever? Ooh, that's a tough one. I was at I think that was at some abandoned house in some dodgy part of London. Man, I don't really remember. It was a long time ago. I played a few gigs when I was just starting out, playing, you know, like a lot of R&S records and Joey Beltram and tracks like that, just before Rave really started to build and become its own unique sound, when it was still a lot of Euro and kind of techno-y stuff. So yeah, that was probably my first gig.
Are you planning to make any special 25th anniversary release like you did with the golden Don't I Wondering box set?
Well, I wanted to do a 25th year anniversary release, and I kind of have. I've pre-recorded my set for the night because it's such a special set, so I'm going to make that available. But I couldn't really do anything like the box set. The box set after 20 years was extremely expensive and took a lot of time and planning. And since the baby's been born, I don't have much time. But also, financially, it was really expensive to do the box set, and I don't mind spending that sort of money or taking that sort of risk, but a lot of my money is wrapped up in the new Kniteforce vinyl releases. If I was a millionaire, yeah, I'd do something a bit more spectacular for the 25th anniversary, but as it is, I have to budget, and so I couldn't do anything too amazing. But, you know, it's going to be a great party anyway, so I'm still looking forward to it. Man, that sounds terrible.
And let's take it back to the birth of Kniteforce Records. Do you remember how you took the decision to launch your own label?
I don't ever remember making the decision to launch the label. It was more, I had spoken to it with my friends because they had supported me all the way through Smarties with, you know, coming to all the gigs and driving us around and being in the videos. And I was always saying to them, you know, this is about us, we can make this about us. But there wasn't really a way to do it. I couldn't get them more involved with Smarties. So it kind of just became a thing where I was like, well, would you like to start a record label? And I knew that I wanted to do my own thing because much as I enjoyed working with the Smarties, Nick came from a much more pop music background, and Tom was into rave music, but not so dedicated in some ways, I think. Whereas I was really into it, and I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to do like proper hardcore, and Smarties was, you know, it was like a fun thing. There's nothing wrong with that, but the music I was into was very different from the Smarties music. So there was no real plan. It just kind of happened. We started making music, and I, you know, started putting records out, and then there we were.
Nice one. If I ask you what's label's top 5 live moments, which ones would you pick?
Oh, top 5 label moments. That's really tricky. I guess the first one would have to be when the first release arrived, because there's really, really nothing like holding your very first vinyl release. And it's even more amazing when you made the music and it's your record label and your logo and everything. That was probably number 1. Number 2 would probably be having Slipmatt do a remix, because all of us on Kniteforce, we totally admired Slipmatt. Like, he was the king of hardcore for a very long time. And so having him do a remix of one of our tracks was, you know, really something special. Another one would be... it's difficult. There were so many things, and I'm bound to miss some of them out. It was pretty amazing to hear the first, like, going to a rave and hearing a track played by a DJ you didn't ask to play it. Because when you first make music, you usually have friends, and at least one of them will be playing a gig, and they will play the track for you, and they're into it and stuff. But because you gave it to them and asked them to play it, it's slightly different to when you go to a rave and you just hear a track playing out that is on your label. I think the first time I heard anything played out was Billy Bunter playing Force and the Evolution, Fall Down On Me, and we hadn't asked him to play that. He just played it, and that was pretty amazing, especially as it was at Labyrinth, because, you know, that was my home club. Number 4, probably hanging out with Jimmy J at Remix Records. That was just a really fun time. All my memories from that time are just of, you know, just me and Poozy and 𝐿KiD and everyone. We'd just roll up into the store on a Saturday with some test presses, and Jimmy would be there and Richie Weirs, and there'd be all the people coming into the store. That's one of those, it's not a specific memory, but that whole time, that was just a brilliant time. And number 5, I don't really know. I know that sounds terrible. There were so many good things. Just everything from 6 days taking off and doing a tour in Australia with Jimmy to, you know, the sleeve and artwork for KF32, which is one of my favourite things I've ever done, or, you know, KF40 on a personal note. That was one of the best things I'd done, Project 7. There's a lot of good things, and it's too many to think of. And of course, as soon as I finish the interview, I'll think of so many more.
And your top 5 Kniteforce releases ever?
Top 5 KF releases ever. That's nearly impossible because I change my opinion so often. There will be ones that are definitely in there, though. I love the 𝐋𝐔𝐍𝐀 and 𝐂 remix of the Timespan music. That's always been one of my favourites. DJ Ham, Let Yourself Go. That's one of my favourites. Lunacy Project 7. I know it's my own one, but I was very proud of that. That's one of my favourites. Probably... Future Primitive, Feel It in the Air, the original version. That whole EP was just brilliant. I mean, it's only a 2-tracker, but the sleeve and the artwork and the tunes are just amazing. And maybe also probably Take Me Away as well. I know it's not really Kniteforce, that's Remix Records, but I still love Take Me Away, and in some ways Take Me Away was our calling card. Once that came out and got big, that really made the label solid, if you know what I mean. And then the Slipmatt remix made it even more solid. So I guess Take Me Away as well.
Last summer you tried a risky but very promising project and decision to bring back Kniteforce on vinyl after 18 years. You made that remix contest including big old school names, Kniteforce signed artists and several talents already existing in the new school scene. Are you satisfied with the whole response from the masses about these releases? Came all as expected?
I'm very happy with how the new Kniteforce vinyl came out. It's been a lot of hard work selling vinyl. I knew it would be, but it's a struggle, and it's sometimes a bit disheartening because, of course, I remember when the first thing we would do is press 3,000 of any record, and then we'd normally sell 5,000, whereas now you press 300 and you have to fight for every sale. But at the same time, it's a different world, and the fact that anyone will put their hand in their pocket and spend money on vinyl is basically a miracle. I can't thank people enough for supporting it. It's enabled me to really get back into the roots of the music I love, and it's enabling all sorts of interesting things to happen, as you'll see from some of the artists I've got remixing in this mix that you're listening to. And just, yeah, I'm very grateful, and it's been really, really fun. So, yeah, I'm very happy.
And all of us in the hardcore community are very happy too. I personally have to say that I received something very positive on this fresh air breathing from the Kniteforce Records label, finding you more hungry and maybe more musically mature than ever, I'd say, by reading your posts and listening to the Kniteforce new tracks. Do you believe that a new era has just begun for the label and the scene? Is it time for hardcore to go to the next and higher level as deserves?
Well, the label is having a new burst of life for a number of reasons. One is because everything's interconnected. Because my wife Cindy got pregnant, I decided to quit smoking, and I've always been a smoker, and I smoked quite a lot, and I was high functioning, but you know, it definitely dulled my senses. I also suffered from depression, and I don't think smoking helped. So when I cut both of those things out, I found myself much more clearer in the head, and so I was able to be much more focused on the label. And then when the baby was born, I found I had almost no time, which meant I've become extraordinarily efficient at what I'm doing. So I'm much more focused and much more concentrated on what I'm doing, probably more than I have been in the last 20 years. So that's all very good for the label, and it's good for me. I'm having the best time I've had in a long time, you know. I'm awake and aware and, you know, on top of everything. And it's a very exciting time. Whether it will go on to be a new level, I don't know. That depends on other people. If other people support this, and if enough other people see it and go, cool, that looks good, we should do that, then yes, I'm hoping that Kniteforce will be like a torch in the dark, and a lot of the other artists will go, hey look, Kniteforce is doing well with this old school sound, and we should do that too. Because it can't be done alone, and I'm not saying we're the only one. I mean, obviously there's Jedi Recordings and numerous others that are doing it, but it takes more than just a few people. It takes the history, so it needs to be some of the old school artists, me, and it needs to be others as well. I'm hoping I can drag some others into it, as well as the new school artists, and that needs to evolve into parties. And if all that happens, then yes, I think we could go back to having a proper hardcore scene that's based on the original vibe and the original sound. There's nothing wrong with modern hardcore, I love that, that's great, but it's so far away from the original sound that it's pretty much a different music. So I'm hoping, you know, we will see what happens.
Well, yes, hope will never die, and in my opinion the reborn Kniteforce is an optimistic sign of the future, a reality on the fact that hardcore will never die. I mean that the whole thing will draw more attention from the old school hardcore masses, and hopefully will go further, why not? So last year the label released KF64, KF65 with legends like Scott Brown, Billy Daniel Banter, and more to come, as you've already announced. Can you share any big name in the pipeline, or even invite in public anyone for forthcoming stuff over KF? What about Hyperon Experience? Do you think it's time for it, now getting them on Kniteforce? I know you adore them.
Well, it's ironic that you asked this question. When you sent these questions to me, well, as you will hear from the mix, I have actually got Hyperon Experience doing a remix on the next releases, and it's hard to explain how thrilled I am by that. You can't. I mean, Hyperon Experience have been the single artist that I've referred to again and again and again in my 20 years of music making. Even now when I listen to their stuff, it still blows my mind how technical they are and how clever they are and how playful their tracks are. they're just, I'm a total fanboy, which is one of the reasons we got the remix, actually, because I spoke to Alex Hyperon Experience and I was just a total fanboy. I couldn't help it, I'm not a person who has many heroes, and for me, Hyperon Experience have just been such a big influence on my music. So to have them remixing on Kniteforce is pretty much all I could ever hope for. So really, I could just release these remixes and call it a day. Not that I'm going to, of course, but the remix he's done for me is just brilliant, so I'm totally happy with that. And I am now in the process of trying to persuade him to actually do an EP for Kniteforce. And this is what I'm talking about as far as support for the label and making this work goes. If the vinyl sells out, if we sell out of all the vinyls we're doing, we can then say to artists like Hyperon Experience, and you'll also hear Just in Time, I've got him interested as well. I can say to them, look, the vinyl's selling out, I can offer you an advance, we can do a full record with a sleeve. And believe me, the old school artists want to do that. They're not interested in doing some poxy MP3 that disappears, because it's no fun. They want to feel like I do. They want to feel like the old school days where they had a vinyl release and it was something special. So I'm hoping that off the back of this I can get others in. I mean, I had a good relationship with Austin from Future Assassins. Why not? I might be able to get him involved. I'd love to get Athens to do some new hardcore. There's NRG, Too Bad Mice are doing stuff, Force Mass Motion, Xenophobia. There's no reason why we can't drag these people in, but because they all have full, busy lives, you have to be able to go to them and say, here's what I can offer, I can do this for you, I can do that for you. If you're willing to spend the time doing the tracks, I can make something happen. So yeah, very exciting, and can't believe Hyperon are on my label, and just amazing. So I'm going to have to back away before I turn into a total fanboy that's just too embarrassing. But yeah, very exciting time.
To anyone out there purchasing a 12-inch copy of the limited KF67 is given away an exclusive bonus of 2 digital tunes. First is totally exclusive, and the second is taken from the forthcoming Lunacy Kniteforce album, Forward in Reverse. Just a heads up to the listeners at the moment, these tracks are Scartat remix on My Angel and Audio X remix on Playing Piano Progression the Third. Is there anything to reveal about Forward in Reverse album? Is it a personal forthcoming new album or kind of compilation? Any details about it?
The Forwards in Reverse album is sort of an experiment. When I have new artists come to my label, I like to give them remixes first to get them to exercise their skills, and so that I get to know them, because if I'm going to put a lot of money behind releasing a vinyl record, I need to know that they are the sort of people I want to work with, because I've always been that way. I don't care how talented you are. If you're not a nice person, I don't want to work with you, and that's the end. It doesn't really matter to me. So we start by doing remixes, and I thought it might be fun to take some modern Kniteforce tunes, lunacy ones in fact, and make them old-fashioned and old-school style. So I have a numerous group of new KF artists all taking modern lunacy tracks and turning them into old-school tracks. So that's what the Forward in Reverse album is. I would love to do a new lunacy album, and I'm working on a new lunacy project, but time is so limited. It's going to be a while before anything like that happens. But that's the Forward in Reverse album, yeah. I'm hoping it will come out after with KF70 or KF71. With all music, I wait until I have all the tracks and then I decide what I'm going to do with them. I don't like to make any plans until I have the finished project, if you see what I mean. So I'm just waiting. We'll see how Forward in Reverse comes out.
What producers and DJs you rate these days?
This is going to sound terrible, but I don't listen to many people's music. I have so little time now. Producers that I rate, well, Jedi, obviously. He's got a nice, crisp, clear sound. It's a bit more old school than my usual sound, but that doesn't mean I don't admire it. Alex Jungle, who I've signed to the label, and is just phenomenal. As far as producers go, like, he's amazing, really. I love Doughboy on KFA, and Sparky Anglerfish and JP Huxley. Their tunes are just so quirky and original and so wicked on the dance floor. It's mostly people from my label because I live a pretty enclosed life where I only really listen to the stuff that I get sent, and I'm very aware of how bad that is. But there we are.
And what's your advice to anyone who wants to start producing?
My advice to anyone who wants to start producing is don't listen to anyone and do what sounds good to you. You'll hear a lot of people talking about you have to do this and you have to do that and this is how you produce for the modern era and etc, etc. But the vast majority of modern music is boring as hell because everybody's doing the same thing. There's no rules. There's no you have to do it this way. I mean, look at me. I've got rid of most of my VSTs, or I don't use them. I've gone back to using hardware. Not because it's cool, and not because it's better, but because I like doing it more. And in the end, the pleasure you have in producing is the most important thing. You have to enjoy what you're doing. If you're going to do work that you don't want to do, don't do music. Go and do another job which will actually pay you properly. There's no point in making music you don't like, or producing in a way you don't like, because you're not going to get paid. So it's really, just do what you want to do. And, I'm not saying don't take tips or listen to what other people say, but just know that music is an art form and your art is up to you. You don't have to do it any particular way. It's completely up to you.
Can you describe us Kniteforce Records in 5 words?
I guess if you wanted to sum up Kniteforce, it would be hardcore, irreverent, silly, serious, underground. I don't know. Is that any good?
Thank you a lot, Chris, for this interview, and to wish you a bright 2017 to you, your wife, and your baby. Massive respect. Big ups a lot. What can I say? Your great words and feedback are always big, and I do appreciate it, really. Shouts out to anyone or any message to close?
If I start doing shout outs to people, I will always miss someone out because there's so many and I forget everything. But I would like to say a sincere thank you to you, because we've been talking about how the new scene might take off, and in a lot of ways you're the central pillar for all of it, because you're the one who's representing everyone from all different countries and regularly doing a radio show. There are others, but it's a big deal that you're doing what you're doing, so respect to you and thank you. Other than that, I'm just very grateful to everyone that supported the label, everyone from Force and Evolution and Future Primitive, and to Alex Jungle, to Ant to Be, to everyone. So many people have made it what it is. I do my bit, but without the rest of the people, wouldn't be anything. So yeah, big thank you to everyone, and of course everyone that's ever bought any of our products, because again, every single penny that goes into my pocket then gets spent on the label, so that's the reason we're still here.
And last bits before closing this interview, can you give us a few info about what shall we expect to listen to your mix coming up now?
Well, my mix coming up, I've tried to give you a little taste of all the latest Kniteforce stuff, KF64 to KF70. There's a remix by Just In Time and a remix by Hyper on Experience, which is very exciting. A remix by Alex Jungle of Snow in Summer, so he's actually managed to make me like that track, because even though I made it, I've never liked it. I think it's a pretty good set. I'm very pleased with it, and I hope you enjoy it a lot. Thank you for having me.
So to all crew out there, this is the time. Lunacy on the guest mix, exclusively Loud and Proud. Turn it up.
And now for something completely different. How y'all feel out there?
Welcome
to the GLOWKiD Generation
X Radio.
presenting
DJ Lunacy.
Connecting turntables.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Wouldn't believe it unless I saw it. It's incredible.
Astounding. I don't know whether to laugh or cry.
Let's not set the bar too high up front. Might not like what you get. No. Excellent. Excellent, terrific, pretty good show tonight. We're going to have a good time. Yeah.
Nothing serious.
Excellent program. Gonna have a good time.
Let's go.
Gonna get it on. We won't get it on, but we'll get it on. Old school.
I'm old school show business. You're not here for me. I'm here for you.
You are locked on Planetary Radio. Generation X the show. It's the one and only the great Lunacy on the guest mix. boys out there from all over the world. It's the almighty DJ Lunacy bringing on the storm. Rave Radio. And it's the hardcore legend Lunacy on the guest mix. It's a real fact, guys. Kniteforce Records is back. Years of live action and offer.
Oh, okay. I just stopped it. Whoa. It's not a good place to stop.
Not at all. And then you freeze and hold that for 20 minutes.
Goodbye.
Woo! That was fair enough and big enough. What can I say? Massive respect, big up to the lunacy. Let's enter now to the closing part, the closing tune for tonight's showcase. My deep respect, massive shout out to all chatroom crew. So this means AJ, Alchemy, Anony Rave, BBS, MP, FISA, HP, Insane, HO8, Kitson, Nevis T, Stanfish, Takumi, TNO, Tony L, Vitality, Vortex, Whistloff, and Udaidun. Flattered, I'm very pleased, very honored for tonight's showcase, guys. Big respect to the lunacy, big respect to all Kniteforce crew, and of course all followers of this great label. A label which celebrates 25 years in the game and has returned since late December with a reborn vinylized series of wicked releases. So Bust and All Jump presents Kniteforce Records 25th anniversary on 10th of March. On 11th of March with Lunacy, DJ Ham, DJ Force, Future Primitive, Kingsize, 𝐶𝐍𝐀, Ideals and DJ Deluxe. Big up to all Hardcore Massive. Tonight's showcase will be uploaded later on GLOWKiDmusic.blogspot.com. Tracklist featured. Catch me up live next Tuesday, same glow place, same glow time in here. I'm totally excited, guys, believe me. Keep the hardcore flag alive and always up. Καλό βράδυ από Αθήνα. Have a glow night, each and everyone.
Είναι ασφαλές να κλείσετε τον υπολογιστή σας.
Generation X. Generation X.
You are listening to Planet Rave Radio.